Hey there friends, this is Andrew. Welcome back to the Scrap Box. Last week we made this passenger cart, which looks really nice. It's got a pretty detailed exterior. You could pull this up. Yep, there we go. Pull it off. You can open this up. And you can see all the wonderful interior. It is a little dark though. But this raises a question for long trips. The question you all have when you take a long trip. Where do you use the restroom? Which is why today we will be not using this. Yep, get all the way out. There we go. We will be making a second cart with a restroom in it. We'll also be doing other things too, but I want to see how far I can get with the restroom idea. The first thing I have to do is make this look like that. This is one of the old designs before I settled on these nice intricate railings. I don't know what you would call those. Decor pieces. So let me get that set up and then we'll worry about the restroom. Alright, we got the basics down, except for the tiling up here, and the reason being is you might realize the big problem. There's only 4 spaces to work with, and me being me, I still want 2 studs of space for the people to scooch by, which means our bathroom has to be 2 studs. As impossible as that seems, it also needs to have a functioning door, which is why you may realize that I have some cheeky studs right here, for this is where the toilet is going. As soon as we place this toilet here, the problems start. How do we fit a door here? How do we get this back end here? Well, one problem at a time. Let's start with the back. Alright, if you remember from last week, we had little brackets for the corners with these weird snot bricks that get 2 sides. So I'm gonna go at that one, and sorry, I'm trying to look through the camera and this at the same time, and that one. And then we had a bunch of these going all the way through. Just like that. Now you can see obviously the one with the toilet is missing it, but luckily for us, we decided to tile the sides. So what we can do now is we can take a couple tiles and we can simply tile right over it, and no one will ever know. There we go. I also put a little grate there for any drainage issues. I put the gold bars on the top, and I put 2 1x2 gray plates in there to finish off the toilet. It does cut off some of the seat, but it's still usable. Just very squished and uncomfortable, as many toilet seats I've been in before. Also went and tiled the edges so they match the other one. However, it was at this very moment that I realized that those 2 brown studs are sticking out and can be seen, so let me replace those with the dark green. Just like that, it's fixed. The sink. The sink is going to be the hard part, and I think I'm going to take this grate out because I was going to use this door right here like that, but I think I'm going to get a bigger door and try to solve some of my problems. I was like, I'll just use this door, but nope, this door won't work because it is too wide. It will not open all the way. Alright, back to this door. The good news is this door will only stick out so when it opens, it can open all the way. The bad part is it is not quite as tall as a minifigure, so what I could do, and you're gonna have to tell me how bad this looks, is I could take a little door and put it on top and just, you know, it's all pretend anyways, so pretend this is one big door. What do you think? The good news is, if you place it right there, the toilet fits, and it fits all within those 2 studs. Alright, building on the fly here. I'm gonna put a grate here. I'm gonna make this will be our little sink. That'll go there. And then I've got 1 set of door and 2 set of doors. And then I'll fill in those 2 little gaps, and that will be our tiny restroom. I don't know if I'm happy with this. 1 door is fine for the toilet, like opening up. I think that's great. I think that's cute. I love it. But the side with the sink opening up, not so much. I'm half debating putting a wall here and then building a sink on the outside, so like you do your business and then you go around and you wash your hands. I don't know. Alright, new plan. Toilet goes in here. They'll have a little stall door, and then they'll have to exit and use the maintenance sink right here. It's not a fancy bathroom, you gotta share it with the maintenance people. But it's gonna be right there, it's gonna have a little spigot. It's unfortunately gonna be tan because I don't have one of these in gray, but that's gonna go on there in just a second. Just to make sure everything's lining up, I'm going to do the windows. Alright, the windows are on, and the good news is this window lines up perfectly, so when the stall door is on, nobody can peek on you from this side. The bad news is that's not true for this side. If we had a wall there, people could easily view around and see who is using the restroom. Hopefully this design will be able to fix it. I've got a 1x2 plate, I've got that weird snap brick, and I've got a 1x1 brick. We are going to try to perfectly squeeze this tile in there to block off any unwanted viewers. Now, it's not perfect, there is still a tiny gap, but it does look a lot better. However, given how snug it is, I'm not sure it's a legal Lego building technique, but it fits. I forgot to mention before that I did tile off this section, and I've just added a black garbage can. Between you and me, does it look more efficient? Yes. Is it more efficient? No. But it looks nice and compact and cute, and therefore we shall keep it this way. I'm going to finish up the sides, and then I'm going to place the chairs and the table just like you saw in the other cart. Honestly, this is coming together a lot better than I thought it would. We've got our 2 seats right here. They are the cheapest seats on the train. The good news is you get the car to yourself. The bad news is you're probably in the very back and you have to smell whatever comes out of there. This little section looks really cute. That little section looks really cute. I'm ready to build the top, but I'm sure you're wondering what goes here. Well, the answer is simple. The snack trolley. No, I'm not copying from the Hogwarts Express, I promise. It's got all the little snacks. It's got jelly beans, it's got some fruit juice, it's got popcorn, it's got peanuts, it's got chocolate, it's got water, it's got everything you need, and it's going right there. Did I change that? Yes, I did. Let me tile this off real quick. And that's just gonna hook into place, and hopefully I could get that popcorn to fit. Let's find out. This hook is off by half a plate, which means it lifted up this side too much or it pushed it down too much. However, the bright side is, if I put this plate on here with the popcorn hiding underneath it, it holds the whole thing in place, so we don't even need this hook. Alright, that is looking really good. Most of our stuff is in place, but I'm gonna take this little grate and make like almost an AC unit. It just kind of pumps the bad smelling air. Maybe it just pumps it out of the train like that. I think that looks good. Now I've got to build the roof and the other side. We are so close, but I'm not gonna lie, I am almost out of pieces. For instance, instead of these 2x4 curves, I have to use all of the little 1 segment ones. So let's see if I can finish this. And there. This almost did not make it. I am out of basically all of these parts now, but we've got it. It's connected, and this whole thing is now connected. Sorry, that's my chair. This whole thing is now connected. Notes: it looks a lot better with 2 of them. When there was just 1, I was worried that this gold at the bottom made it look way too tall, but with 2 of them, it looks nice and evened out. Other notes: it's dark in there. We should add some lights. Please no, that's gonna be so much work. Why are the lights gonna be so difficult, you ask? Well, because I normally use these LED little fairy lights. And the thing about LEDs is, if you put too much voltage in them, they will burn and then not work at all. In fact, these LEDs normally work on 3 volts. Now, my city is going to be powered by USB, which is 5 volts, but it's pretty simple to use some resistors to take a 5 volt down to a 3 volt. However, what's not so simple is when you realize that logically your LEDs aren't going to be battery powered, they're going to be powered by the train system, because they can't be USB powered by something moving around constantly. And the train system has a varying voltage, up to 9 volts. So not only do we have a voltage that can get to 3 times the size the LEDs run on, but also we don't really know what it is at any given moment, or it could change. My first solution was to try a series of resistors to eat up the 6 volts, leaving it with 3 volts, which works, but is the wrong answer. Also, do you like how well I do on my little test circuits? No soldering, just twisting. Now don't get me wrong, the resistor thing would work as long as the train was going forward, but trains aren't known for just going forwards, because I could turn this backwards. And the thing about LEDs, or light emitting diodes, is diodes only allow current one way, so if it runs backwards, the lights won't work. This means at the very best, our LEDs are going to only work half the time when the train's going forward. However, the problem with the LEDs is also the solution. Here, let's see what happens when we turn it on. Let's see. Nothing yet, because it's only about 3 volts. And this is designed to eat up quite a bit. So we're at 5.64, and as you can see, they start to light up. A very boring explanation. I got really excited when I figured it out. I just had a realization that since the headlights work in pairs of 2, I could have the 2 up front for when it's going forward and the 2 in back for when it's going backwards. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be using this one when all is said and done, so I think I'm just going to leave it as a little bunch up top. It's going to connect to this motor, and then it'll go there. And when we replace this, I'll make sure the wiring looks great. Alright, this cart has 3 lights, one in the back, one above the table, one in the bathroom. I'm not gonna lie to you, that coil above the vent is not my best work, but it looks good overall. I need smaller connectors than these, but I'll have to order them online. So right now, this is what we have on both sides. Now, let me do the other cart. So here I am attaching these nice connectors, you know, like a good little engineer, and then I just realized, what happens if these 2 parts touch each other? That'll be bad. Alright, this is what I've got so far. And I'm just gonna tape this one up for now, just so none of those touch. And I'll get couplers later. Ready for the test run. As you can see, I've done a beautiful job of attaching this to the front, but it is connected to the silver engine at the bottom. These are open, so I could check the lights. Moment of, wow, you see? Only on camera. Alright, let's see. Oh, so sad. It probably would have helped if I actually had the wheels on the track. Alright, as you can see, the lights are on, but they're blinking. And I think that's because it has a bad connection, because I made that motor. So I will have to replace it with a better motor, but I will do that in... Ooh, that's a little more solid. In the future. I will call this a work in progress for this episode. Anyways, we still accomplished a lot. We got a whole restroom. We got a whole second cart. And some rudimentary lights, flickering or not. It's been pretty good. Alright, this has been Andrew. You've been watching The Scrap Box. Apparently people say like, subscribe, and hit the, the notification button. Alright, you have a good one. I'll see you later. Bye. If I add a capacitor to the system, that would fix the flickering lights.